Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So today's video is going to be a big favourites video. I haven't filmed favourites in ages. I actually stopped filming them at the start of this year, and instead I share my monthly favourites on my blog, which is just www.peexo.co.uk. So if you still want to have like that monthly favourites fix, then do head over to my blog. I do still share them monthly, just written down as opposed to like spoken. But today I thought I would do a big favourites video, a compilation of all the things that I have loved and that have seriously got me through sort of self-isolating and just these past almost going on 3 months that we've just been at home so much. So I thought this would be quite a nice video to put together. It was really nice for me to go back over my previous blog posts to see what I included in them and just to think back the things that have really like kept me going and that I've really enjoyed. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. First up is like fashion and style, and I'm going to start off with, do you know what? This is mostly cozy things just because it's what I've been living in recently. Really been enjoying my loungewear and just comfy clothes. So first up, this white button-down cardigan from New Look. This has been hands down my most worn thing. It's great. It's great for days when it's like quite warm outside because it's just a nice layering piece, but it's also great for the days when it's a little bit chillier and you just want to feel cozy. Like, this is perfect. It's the perfect throw-on piece, whatever you're wearing, whether it be loungewear or if it's actually a day when you have bothered getting a little more dressed up. You know, this is really lovely. It's perfect all year round as well. It's just been such a staple in my wardrobe. Speaking of staples, my UGG slippers. I love these slippers, you guys. I feel like I mention these in so many videos. Like, whenever I can talk about these slippers, trust me, I do. They are just the best. So they are the UGG Scuffette slippers. These were actually a limited edition colorway that they did. They usually bring out this colorway around Christmas time, so keep an eye out for that, and I will also like continue to share them. I love these. I cannot tell you how much I love them. At the start of like lockdown and all these things happening here in the UK, one of my like top things to invest in, like if you wanted to invest in, was a good pair of slippers, because it just makes a huge difference. Slippers, particularly when you're at home, are probably the footwear you spend the most time in, so it's just imperative to have a good pair of slippers, in my opinion, and these are exactly that. Like, you just cannot beat UGG slippers, in my opinion. I think they are so good. They really stand the test of time. They do so many different colors and prints and things like that, so you can really get something that suits you and your style. I just cannot sing high praises enough for these. I think they are so good. Even more loungewear, this time some joggers. These are great for the cool days when it's a little bit colder outside. Like, the weather is always a bit up and down in the UK, so you just never know, but these in particular are great. These are actually from Primark, you guys. I think I've had these for like 2 years or something like that, and they are still absolutely perfect in my opinion. They are my go-to. I really do like these. So they're just a pair of high-waisted, almost like legging style fit loungewear joggers. I love these. They're really great. They're just a grey marl, so really quite basic. They go with anything. I've worn this with that cardigan I showed you, for example. I wear this with jumpers. I wear this with t-shirts. Like, they're just such a good pair of loungewear trousers, in my opinion. So I will be honest, most of my fashion things are quite lounge related, but that's just because that's what I've been spending most of my time wearing, so hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. But next up, I have a pair of pajamas. Now, this is just a white and yellow striped pair of pajamas. It's got tiny shorts as well. These shorts are actually very tight, like very tiny, and usually I would want something a little bit more substantial, but because it's sleepwear, I don't really mind. It's just got a long sleeve shirt and shorts. Because it's pajama, I don't really iron them, so please don't look at that too much. But a pair of cotton pajamas I think are essential. I have so many of those like nice silk-esque pajama style pajamas, or like pajama sets, and if I'm being completely honest with you, they are not as comfortable as this one, just because it's cotton, and cotton is far more breathable. I don't know, I just think it's so much nicer. Anytime I wear pajamas that are more like nice, I just get so hot in the night, and they end up being really uncomfortable. So they look great. They're great on holiday when you've got like aircon and stuff like that, and you don't need to worry too much about getting too hot under the covers. But here in the UK, where we don't really have aircon, these are perfect. A good pair of cotton pajamas, I think, are essentials. And not only that, I've actually found it really, really beneficial for me to put on my pajamas, go to sleep in my pajamas, and then wake up in the morning, obviously still in my pajamas, and then get out of my pajamas. Like, even on the days where I haven't left my house, and trust me, I think I spent a whole month without ever setting foot outside my front door. And even on days like that, it's good because it sort of breaks up your day. So despite staying at home all day, it's a really good way to break things up. And my final piece is a fun one. It is my straw boater hat. I've had this again 2 or 3 years maybe. Such a good piece to have, honestly. Such a good one. I've been wearing it like outside. Look how summery this look instantly looks. It's literally been transformed with this hat. I just love it, you guys. I love it. I've been enjoying this if I'm out in the garden. I want to shield my face from the sun, obviously, and yeah, it's just been great. I've literally been gravitating towards it all the time. So good, perfect with summer dresses and like beautiful summer outfits. I really think you add this kind of hat to any outfit and it's instantly like you could be on holiday. Like, I just love this. My smartwatch. So this watch is a smartwatch. It's from Kate Spade and I just adore it. It's a gorgeous gold, and you guys know just how much I love my gold hardware. I mean, can you tell? So yeah, this has just been such a great addition to my jewelry collection. I literally haven't worn any other watch. This does not leave my wrist. It's so good. It counts your, or like tracks your steps. It tracks your heart rate. It's really good. You can Bluetooth it to your phone, so then you can get your notifications on your watch as well, connect it to the internet, and you can get things like the weather, location. Like, it's really good. You get like little news bulletins and stuff like that as well. I think it's really good for me to try and stay active as well, because when you're at home, obviously we spend so much time sitting down and it's so much easier to be lazy. And so this has been really good for me to try and keep track of the steps I do. Trust me, they're not a lot of steps, but you know, it's a good way for me to still stay on top of that. And I just think this little watch has been amazing. Literally hasn't left my wrist. I love it. Moving on to beauty. Now, beauty is where I have a little bit more to share with you. I've actually been experimenting quite a lot with different things. For example, I've incorporated retinol into my routine now, and I'm sort of getting to grips with that. I think it's only been about a week now since I first integrated that. So still very new to me, but you know, I'm trying that out, and just loads of different things. I've experimented quite a lot with colourful eyeshadows and just been playing around with makeup a little bit more. I feel like where I don't necessarily need to get dressed every day because I'm not going anywhere, it's been really fun to play around with makeup instead, despite also not going anywhere. But it's much easier to take a selfie when you're at home to sort of show off what you've been creating. Okay, so let's start with a few makeup favourites. The first is this Illamasqua palette. It's called the Expressionist Artistry palette. It's amazing. Like, it's got some really good fun colours in there. If you have seen any of my Instagram posts, then you'll know that I did a very blue, like a bright blue bold look, and that's what really made me fall in love with this palette. Like, the fact that it's got these amazing playful colours, it's just so beautiful. It's a really nice palette. I think if you are someone who loves the warm tone eyeshadows, then you will love this. And it's got the blues that I think just make for such a cool pop of colour, such a cool look. I'm not a makeup artist or anything like that, so I'm not the most adventurous when it comes to eyeshadows, but I think a palette like this you can have so much fun with and play around with it, and that's exactly what I did with it, and I just loved it. Like, honestly, I'm so late to the party with this one, but I finally tried Becca Cosmetics. This is a brand, honestly a brand that's been very high on my to try list, or like my wish list, and so excited to finally been able to try some. So I have the Becca Backlight Priming Filter and the Becca Highlighter in Champagne Pop, of course. Like, what a classic. Champagne Pop is just one of those, a cult product. And I have to be honest, sometimes when you get products like this that are so hyped, I never really know whether to believe the hype. I don't really know if I will love it or if I'll be a bit disappointed. These two, in my opinion, absolutely live up to the hype. I'm wearing both now. So I've got this on, the Backlight Priming Filter on under my foundation, all over the face as well. I didn't shy away from it. I know you can use this in just the high points to sort of accentuate those areas where you would naturally have highlight, but I put it all over my face and I don't think it's too like glittery. I don't think it has any particles. Like, it just gives you a really nice healthy glow. And then Champagne Pop, I was a little bit worried about because I thought, oh, it's a bit bold, it's a bit bright, it's more for those people who do full glam makeup looks, and that's not really what I do. But I'm wearing it now and I think it's nice. I think it's on me, worn quite subtly. I think it gives you a subtle glow. It's just beautiful, like such a beautiful brand, and I'm so excited to try and experiment with more from Becca in the future as well, because these two products I have fallen in love with. Onto a firm favourite that you've probably heard me speak about time and time again. It is the Too Faced chocolate or milk chocolate Soleil bronzer. I love this bronzer, such a good one, and in lockdown I've actually hit pan. I don't know if you can see that, but I have hit pan on this product. I've had this for a while, but it's been my go-to. Like, I'm constantly reaching for this. Again, I'm wearing it today, and most days when I put on makeup I will wear this from Too Faced. I just think it's so easy to blend. It's such a nice colour, gives you a nice like bronzy look, which is exactly what I want, particularly this time of year, and it's just such a good one. Like, again, it's a classic, it's a cult product, but so worth the hype. I've also been using the It Cosmetics Confidence in Your Beauty Sleep Skin Transforming Pillow Cream by It Cosmetics. I think I said that at the start, but this is lovely. It's a weird like purple colour, and I mean, look at this consistency. Like, it's so weird. It's the weirdest thing. Like, it almost feels jelly-like. It's so bizarre, honestly. And when I first sort of put my finger in expecting it to be a normal cream, I was like, whoa, this is really weird. It almost feels like a jelly, or like, yeah, I think jelly is the best way to describe it. It's such a weird consistency, but I love it. I've worn it every single night. It is my go-to. So good. A little goes a long way with this, and it's just such a great product. Now, this is a slightly random one because it's just so basic, but it's Carex hand wash. Obviously, loads of us have been hand washing or washing our hands so much more recently, and I think it's still really important for us to continue doing that. It's one of the like best ways that we can protect ourselves, and the Carex brand is really good because it kills 99.9% of bacteria. They're inexpensive, they're affordable. You can get them in your supermarket, you can get them in like pharmacies like Boots and things, you can get them anywhere. They're a good price. You can also get refills, although I will be honest, I haven't found any refills in my local supermarket, so that's a little bit annoying. They're a little bit hard to find, but they are recyclable and all of that. So where we have been going through so many of these recently, it's good to be able to recycle those, and yeah, they're just been good hand wash to have. Also, a mention to gel nail polish. Oh my gosh, so I did my nails about a week ago now. I think I did this gorgeous purple shade because the purple was the colour I was actually most worried about, because online where they had the reviews on Amazon, a lot of people were saying that the purple wasn't very nice. It's kind of a grey colour, so I was a little bit dubious about it and I was unsure, but I really like it. I think it's a really pretty like lilac purple. Please don't look at my technique because I have a long way to go, but I'm enjoying it. Normal polish just does not last on my nails. I tried it, literally lasts a day and starts to chip. Like, it just does not fare well on my nails. So I really wanted some gel polish, but I didn't want to spend loads of money on it because I know it's not something that I'm good at per se. Just wanted something that would last long and give me a good array of colours. So this is by a brand called Gelen, and I got it on Amazon. So 6-8mm polishes like this, so quite small, but I think a reasonable size, particularly because it does include 6 colours. So it's got a pink, a blue, a green, a purple, a yellow, and then like a nude colour. I kind of wish the nude was a white, but equally I think a nude will be quite nice in the winter time as well, where I don't really want to reach for those pastels. But the reason I wanted so many pastel colours was because I love the whole pastel nails trend where you have one nail in different colours, and I tried that and loved it. It just brings me joy, what can I say? And now I'm going through all of the different colours. So now I have purple. When I take this one off, I think I'm going to go for yellow next, and then I might do like pink, which is like my classic summer colour, and it's just been really good. These were around £15, which is very good for 6 polishes, and they've lasted really well. I have a base coat and a top coat as well as a nail primer, and I think those definitely help as well. But I've searched quite a bit. I've ordered quite a few different gel polishes or like gel polish collections, and this has been the best one. So I decided to go through the books that I rated 5 stars on Goodreads, starting off with City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this, I really liked this actually. I wasn't too sure initially. Anything that's based in the past, I don't usually like so much. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it's not as relatable, if that makes sense. So I'm always a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about that. But this one I really did enjoy actually. It's surprised me, to be honest, because I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I don't want to give anything away, and I don't know how to say things that aren't spoilers, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Just letting you know, it's a good one. Really enjoyed it. And then these next three are actually all, I think they're like all teen young adult books. And does that say something about me and what I enjoy reading? That 3 of the books I really loved were like teen books. But first up is 5 Feet Apart, which crazily feels kind of prominent at the moment because it's like the whole 2 meters apart situation that we've got going on, which is kind of a bit weird, but for completely different reasons. But still, I found this quite a good read. I really did enjoy it. I want to watch the film actually, but I haven't got round to it. Then I read Wonder by RJ Palacio. This was really lovely, and I think this is aimed at a much younger child, but I just thought it was such a nice read. Like, it was really uplifting. It sort of it centers around bullying and, you know, that whole kind of situation that so many people unfortunately go through, and that can be so like heartbreaking and debilitating for so many people. And I just thought it was written really beautifully. It was almost like little diary entries from like different characters in this book, and I just liked it. I thought it was really heartwarming and uplifting, despite having some really sort of sad stories in there as well. But I just really enjoyed this book. I also loved The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This I also believe has been recently made into either a film or a series. So a lot of these have turned into TV and film things, but I loved this. I really liked this. It was just such a nice story, and it was almost like someone very pessimistic and then more of a like optimistic person, like these 2 different lifestyles and 2 different opinions and just 2 different people sort of coming together. I just really enjoyed reading this, I have to be honest. It was such a good one. And then I also read An American Marriage. So good. I loved this so much. I wasn't too sure what to expect, let's put it that way. I didn't really know if this was going to be my thing, because where things are based in America, and I've never even been to America, so obviously I don't really know things you sort of hear about the American dream, and I can watch like American TV and stuff like that, but still I just didn't know if I would relate to this that much or sort of understand it. But I really loved it. I just thought it was so moving. It's just such a good book. Like, I couldn't put this down. It was really good in my opinion. Was just eye-opening, I think, as well. I really enjoyed this. And the final book is one that I actually read, I think at the start of the year, maybe January, February time, but I wanted to include it because so many people have been reading this over like during lockdown, and so I thought I would mention it as well. And it's Where the Crawdads Sing. Probably my favourite book of the year so far. Really enjoyed this. Not necessarily in the sense of being like relatable per se, but just the story was beautifully told. It even had a little bit of like a mystery, kind of crime mystery in there, which is probably one of my favourite book categories. I really love reading thrillers, but this was just so good. It had a little bit of everything in there, in my opinion. It was just so beautifully created, in my opinion, and I really loved this. So if you haven't yet read this or picked up a copy, then definitely do. I realized that I didn't really go in depth for any of those books, but like I said, I just don't want to give out any spoilers, so unless I literally read out the blurb, then I don't really know what else I could say, and I didn't want it to be totally boring. So I hope that was okay. But like I said, for more books I've read and sort of more an in-depth look at the books I like reading and things like that, check out my Goodreads, because I sort of write through everything there. And I also do include little book updates in my monthly favourites / recap blog posts as well. I put down all the books I've read, and I also give their ratings. So if that's more your kind of thing, then do check that out as well. On to TV, series and films. I have to be honest, I haven't been watching that much, which is probably surprising, because I feel like now is a perfect time to sort of just binge watch so many things. But there are things that I don't want to watch by myself, that I'm like waiting to be able to be reunited with my boyfriend again so that we can watch them together. So I haven't been watching certain things, and then I just haven't really felt in the mood to like sit down and just binge things. I don't know, it's really weird. Some things I'm happy to, things that I don't feel are too heavy, but then there are other things that I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. I feel like it requires so much attention that like I just don't have at the moment. So some of my favorites have been 2 films actually. The first one is Green Book, which I watched back in March, just before like lockdown began. So I watched this with my boyfriend and we both really enjoyed it. Like, it's just such a good film. Again, I'm not great at describing stories or plots or anything, but it was so good. Didn't really know what to expect, didn't really know if it was my type of thing, but I did really like it. And second is The Founder, which I also watched with my boyfriend, but long distance this time. So me at home on my laptop, him at his house on his TV. The Founder on Amazon, and it's basically sort of the history of McDonald's and how McDonald's came to be created. I found it so interesting. I had no idea of sort of how it happened and everything, and it was so eye-opening. It was even like a little bit sad. Like, it was just so good, and both of us, like, we love a McDonald's, so it's been a long time without one, let me tell you, but we just so enjoyed it. It sort of really opened my eyes to it, and I just thought it was really good. So I would recommend that. If you are a McDonald's fan, I think you will love that, but even if you're not, it was nice to watch in my opinion. A few things on Netflix. Schitt's Creek. So I believe it's season 6, and the final season came out fairly recently, only like a week ago, and I watched that. I enjoyed all of Schitt's Creek actually. I watched series 1 to 5 like back to back, and then season 6 when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was great. It was so like extra and over the top and almost a bit like satirical, but I loved that about it. It's just an easy watch, doesn't require too much attention. You can sort of watch it whilst you're doing your makeup or watch it whilst you're getting ready, and those are the kind of things I've enjoyed watching because I feel like they don't require too much attention on my part. I've also loved Atypical for that very reason as well. It just talks about so many different aspects. It tackles autism, it tackles infidelity, it tackles love, it tackles sexuality. Like, it just tackles so many different things, but in such a like light-hearted way almost. Like, it doesn't feel too heavy despite having all of these really big categories to tackle. It just still remains quite an easy watch and quite light-hearted, and I think that's a really, really incredible thing that they've done with Atypical. I believe there are still more seasons to come, but the ones that I did watch I really enjoyed. I also loved season 2 of Dead to Me. I literally finished it in a day. I think I spent just a whole Saturday watching that, and I loved it. So good. I thought season 1 was fantastic, season 2 fantastic, and looking at the way season 2 ended, I'm pretty sure that there will be a season 3, so I'm very excited for that. I just think it's such a good series. If you haven't watched it, definitely do. And finally, from Amazon, so I've been watching Little Fires Everywhere. I read that book. That was actually another book I rated 5 stars, but I read it last year and I really enjoyed the book. So I'm always curious after reading a book whether I should watch the series, because I don't want one to like ruin the other or it not be as good, like them not live up to each other basically. But so far I'm on episode 4 of Little Fires Everywhere and I am really enjoying it. It's actually been really good. It's also been good to like remind me of things in the book that I read last year, but it's been good. I'm really enjoying that. I know that, for example, it's got Normal People, Sally Rooney's Normal People, which I also rated 5 stars, has become a drama or a series on BBC 3, and I so want to watch that. But it's 12 episodes long, and I'm just not sure that book warrants 12 episodes. But with that said, it has so many raves. It's been absolutely raved about. People love it. So I really do want to watch it, but it's just so hyped at the moment and I'm just not sure if I'm like ready to watch it. So I just haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely on my to watch list. I haven't yet. And this is just the longest video ever, but the final category is a little miscellaneous one because there are always random little things that I want to share. So first is the Rust-Oleum Metallic Brilliant Finish Spray Paint. Mentioned this before, mentioned this in my Amazon video and also my DIY video. So this is the paint that I use to sort of do a DIY here on like my little filming setup. So for example, these poles are all painted in this and the drawer handles as well. I spray painted with this and I just think it's really good. I've even spray painted like a vase and like other little trinkets around the house and I just think it's really good. It works really quite well and I'm very pleased with how it looks. It's been about a month and a half, maybe even almost 2 months, and it still looks great in my opinion. So this is good. From Anthropology, one of these initial mugs. I got this for Christmas last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. But this is great for hot chocolate. It's like such a good size for hot chocolate. I usually have this in the evening just before going to sleep if there's something I want to watch and have a hot chocolate with. This is like my hot chocolate mug. So that's a good one that I also wanted to mention. I know when I get to the end it just seems so random, but they're genuinely things that I've really enjoyed in lockdown and that have like got me through. Next up, my Corksicle Canteen. This is from their collaboration, or their first collaboration with Rifle Paper Co. They actually have a newer one, which is a blue floral design as well. That's also very beautiful. But this is just my most used one. I just love these. They're so good for days where it's warm and you want to keep a water with you at all times. You don't want it to be getting hot. And this keeps everything cool. It keeps cold drinks cold. It keeps hot drinks hot for hours. So good. This one holds 475 milliliters in there, and they're just really good. Like, I always rave about Corksicle canteens. I just think they're so useful to have, and particularly in the summer. Like, I use them so much in the summer because I want to try and keep my water intake up, and trust me, it has been down recently. So this is really helping me to just make sure I drink at least like 2 to 4 bottles of these a day if I can. And the canteens are just great, like I said, to have outside if you are sitting outside on hot warm days like we're having now. These just don't get warm. Final thing to mention, I promise, is Rummikub. I've recently fallen back in love with Rummikub. This was a game I think I discovered sometime last year. I think my boyfriend's family used to play this game a lot, and that's how we discovered it. So then I bought it so that me and my boyfriend could play it as well, and it's so good. This is little travel size and it's great, but you can also download the app for free. You can connect it to your Facebook and you can play with your Facebook friends. So when we can't obviously play in real life now, like we can't actually meet up and play the game, we have still played on our phones and stuff, like played games against each other, which is always good fun. I think just something a little bit different to do, you know, like we've even played things like Connect 4. We had to find like a random website to be able to play that, and just like random little things like that, because I guess it's nice to find different ways to sort of do things together without actually being together, if that makes sense. So things like playing games, stuff like that has been really good. So that's the end of potentially my longest favorites video ever. I feel like I spoke for ages, but I've been doing so many different like styling videos and things like that recently that I haven't really had the chance to just like sit and chat through things that I've been loving recently. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up as usual. That really helps me out, and it's also good to know if you enjoyed a video or not. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. We've reached that 10k milestone, which I'm so happy and thankful for. My next video is going to be a what's new in my wardrobe, as we are nearing the end of the month, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And all that's left to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all soon. A big thank you for watching. Bye.